Hey, welcome to Fatty Bee and the Beard. Uh, we are, I guess I should say, the Bing Bang Orangutan presents Fatty Bee and the Beard.
Yep.
As always, I'm your host for this show. I am Fatty Bee, aka Dave, and with me, as always, is the Beard, aka Roger. Of course,
Hi,
my phone rings.
I'm the beard.
So
Or what?
my phone's ringing in the background.
Oh, come on,
Hold on a
Dave.
second.
It's no
Disconnect. Hold
unprofessional.
on. This is so unprofessional. I know. I'll be
Ah,
so. Roger, how we doing today?
uh, oh, you're gonna
Can
go
you hear
answer
me?
the phone?
No, I wasn't. My phone
Oh,
talks, so it's saying call from blah blah blah. Blah. So
oh,
anyway,
good.
um,
You just had to kind of, yeah, you just wanted to block it out, like, ah.
yeah, I was like this. No, okay, I'm gonna keep talking and moving. So because moving helps. I don't understand why I did that, but you get the point.
That's like turning down the volume of your car when you're lost.
Exactly,
Makes
and
no
being like
sense. You just do it.
shush, shush, okay.
You shush. Nobody says that.
So where were we? I am Fatty B, aka Dave, and this is Roger, the beard, as you can
What
see by
up?
that. Actually, it's very nicely trimmed, and I know why it's very nicely trimmed, but he looks good. He looks good.
Yeah,
So,
oh, well, no, it was trimmed before. I don't care.
oh, was trimmed before that? Oh, okay, all right. He had a
Yeah.
little bit of a little job interview. Don't tell anybody that, okay? Shh, shush,
Secret.
shush. So, for those of you who, I always say this, for those of you who don't know us, but you know what? You guys all know us.
Yeah.
Okay. We were originally the Big Bang Orangutan with Nick and Tim, but oh my God, somebody's calling back.
Oh, maybe it's listeners wanting to talk live.
They want to talk live to us, right?
Caller, you're on the air.
It's probably just a like telemarketer or whatever.
Telemarketer.
But
Yeah.
so anyway, so the if you probably already know us, we are the geekier of the Big Bang Orangutan crew. So
So basically, when we started this, we were the Bing Bang Orangutan show,
right.
and we did the podcast with all four of us, and we talked about drinking games and beers and bullshit and video games and anything you could possibly think of. And we took aside from that so me and Dave could do a separate podcast called Fatty B and the Beard. And that's more of a nerdy type entertainment news, video games, anything nerd-ish related. And that's where we are now. But we have since deleted the Bing Bang Orangutan show.
We're working on deleting it.
Working on deleting it. Well, it hasn't happened in a while, so it's gone. So basically, just the Bing Bang Orangutan show has just become Bing Bang Orangutan.
Right, because we're doing more than just the show now.
Which is like our company, quote unquote.
Exactly. We're doing a lot more than the show. We're doing streaming. We're doing some giveaways. So we'll get to that. Just to let you guys know real quick, a little brief update. This is my phone with the battery out. So no more calls, no more ringing. So we will not be hearing any.
Dave, when I said tease the giveaway, I didn't mean like, yeah, we have a giveaway and then just go to the next thing.
No. But I wanted to go in order, okay, because we're kind of jumping ahead here. I did want to say that like Roger said, we have a new YouTube page. That's the important thing. If you are a subscriber to our old YouTube page, if you look for Bing Bang Orangutan, you should see the new page. Now we're going to be updating the website with some of the new stuff that we're doing. What? Go ahead.
I think it's the same. If you're you're a subscriber to our old one, it's still
if you're
the same.
A subscriber to the Bing Bang show,
right?
It's different. So if you're a subscriber to Bing Bang show on YouTube, it's different than Bing Bang Orangutan.
All the subscribers came over when we did the new. I still have the same amount.
You're talking about the brand stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm talking about from the old podcast stuff.
Yes.
So original, and we're moving them over slowly but surely. Right now, they're linked on the page. There's a lot of technical stuff going on here. A lot of geeky stuff that we're just trying to.
If we only had a tech guy on our team. Dave.
Right. And but yeah, so we do have some new content. We're doing some fresh new stuff for you guys. Roger and the guys have been streaming. We're streaming video games. which we all love to play video games, and you can hear some of the same horsing around that you get with Big Bang Orangutan, with Fatty B in the Beard. You can get all that in some of these live streams. Plus, you get to see us play some pretty cool games. You get to, if you're watching anything that I'm in, you get to see how shitty I am at playing video games. So there's a bonus there. And we're doing a lot more stream. We're doing a lot more content because we're not just doing the podcast anymore. We're doing the video game stream. We're doing a couple of the other. There's some links to some old videos, some comedy videos, some stunt videos. One video of the boys playing dodgeball. It was
trampoline dodgeball.
Trampoline dodgeball. Yes,
right.
yes, which is entertaining.
Phenomenal.
And yes, so we're doing a lot of that. We're also going to be expanding that content to include even more, which we'll get into some of the new stuff that we're looking at doing towards the end of the program. And we'll also get into, we're going to start doing some giveaways, and we'll get into some of that information at towards the end of the podcast when we start talking about some of the new content that we're going to be adding on. So stay tuned for that. But right now,
I was kind of hoping. Sorry to interrupt. I was kind of hoping that the teaser would be like the news, like is your drinking water causing you to die? Find out in 45 minutes. Like that's what I wanted this to be like.
But we don't have problems with our drinking water.
But I'm saying, like, do you want something awesome from the Big Bang Orangutan guys? Listen to the whole podcast. That's
all right. Well, there's your teaser, guys. Yes,
there you go. Like
Roger's a much better announcer than I am. I do a lot of uhs and ums, which Roger can't stand when he listens back. He's like, you do a whole lot. So I'm going to try to not do a lot of ums this week.
That's
which
the
I've
giveaway.
Done.
Whoever tells me, whoever inboxes me with the exact amount of ums Dave says wins the prize.
So we're gonna put some stuff up on our YouTube page, on our Facebook page, Twitter, some of the links for our giveaways when we get into that. So, but I think the important thing here is we've been away for a little while, trying to set up some of this new stuff and do a lot of this new stuff. So we're going to talk about some interesting topics today. We're going to talk about some stuff that's maybe we wanted to talk about a little bit before when it comes to like E3. We're also going to talk about some new stuff, some new entertainment news. And yes, sir. Oh, we're just talking about. I thought you were pointing like, wait a second. And we're going to also talk about some new stuff in the Destiny 2 beta that dropped this week, which is, as you probably know if you've followed us or listening to us, is our baby. Destiny. So we're going to talk about that and how we liked or disliked the Destiny 2 beta. So we are going to get started though with the E3 content that we wanted to talk about. And basically, E3, we know what happened, a month ago now? A month and a half, something like
Probably
that.
About a month.
Yep. And
yeah.
What were the things that you found, or I guess what you would call it, like the takeaways? What was the takeaways that you saw from E3?
Well, it's funny because now I can't really say that I was disappointed in the lack of Destiny 2 information that was on there.
That's true. That's true.
Because
now we have Destiny 2.
Now beta. We have it. Now we have the beta anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. But from what I remember, good.
I was going to say, on that note, you kind of brought me into something that I was thinking about when it came to the takeaways. Is that from my point of view, at least, there really wasn't there wasn't a lot new. Okay, no. Nothing surprising. Nothing really jumped out at everybody.
Bethesda, which I believe is who makes Fallout.
Right.
Bethesda, I'm actually playing their game right now. If you can see right here.
Prey.
Somewhere. I can't really.
You're right. You're
there it is. I got it. So I'm playing that right now, and that's being streamed. It is scary as fuck. I swear to God, Dave, you should have played this game, not me.
That's good. That's good.
It's really good. It's really good, and I like the Bethesda guys. But I think what happened was when the Bethesda group came up with their with their little spiel, they came out with like a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit of games, and nothing crazy. And then all of a sudden, it was like dun dun, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, what is this game going to be?" And everybody was disappointed that it wasn't Fallout 5. And it's
right.
it's like, yo, Fallout 5 came out like 2 years ago. Those games take like 5 years to make. Like, there's
Yes,
no way it was going to be
any
Fallout
of these
5.
big monster games take
But
years to come.
it was Wolfenstein 2. I never played the first one, but the second one looks badass. Enough
Yeah,
for me to want to go play the first one.
and supposedly it's a continuation from right after that first one. I
Okay.
never played the first one either. I played like old school Wolfenstein from back in the day, and even when they rebooted it for the computer with a newer version of that, it was pretty good. Go Power Ranger! So we completely taking me off topic there. Thanks.
Good.
But no.
I was just gonna say, but you didn't even say so that's good. But then you said immediately.
Yeah. So what I was thinking though was no big surprising reveals. I guess I should say.
No, there wasn't anything that went nuts.
It seemed to me, press conference wise, a lot of these press conferences were more like just trailers before a movie. Exactly, some shows, and then you'd have some kind of weird live stuff going on. Then you'd have boom, here's a bunch of games that are coming out, and it's a bunch of trailers for video games, which a lot of the game was, you were questioning some of the some of the gameplay, whereas a lot of it was just it is again. A lot of it is just the action, the movies in between the action, in between the actual player stuff. They were. I was fascinated by some of the Xbox stuff, and I'm not. We came from Roger and I both came from Xbox 360. There's nothing. We have nothing against Xbox. If we were given a free Xbox, hint hint, we would play and review games and things like that. We would be perfectly fine doing that. But we chose to go PlayStation 4 with our next upgrade, and that's where we're at now. But I think that the PlayStation 1S, I think is what they called it. Is that what they called it? PlayStation 1X?
No, you're talking about Xbox.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Xbox One X, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Xbox One X. Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, but some of the previews for some of the games looked really good and really intriguing. A couple takeaways from that, though, is that there weren't a ton of Xbox exclusive games,
right?
And anything that was Xbox exclusive was also coming out on PC. Now, it's interesting to me that they're really pushing a lot of the PC games, because PC gaming, we're at this point right now where PC gaming and Xbox gaming is very close to each other. Right. You're always going to get a little better from the PC just because hardware upgrades happen a lot faster. But as far as them playing the same game on consoles and PCs, it's interesting where they're going. Now, don't be surprised if you see a lot more of, they're doing it with Minecraft, but Minecraft's a little bit of a different game. Don't be surprised if you see a lot more of them intertwining some of these games with Xbox and PC, cross console. And if they do a lot more of that, they're going to win a lot more market share, because if you can get a PC game and you can play with all your Xbox buddies, or vice versa, that's a big thing. And Sony doesn't have that, because Sony doesn't put out computers as like Microsoft does,
right?
But yeah, that's kind of future. Some of the games looked really good. Some of them were interesting. What I did hear behind the scenes wise is, if you were sitting there on site, some of the 4K content didn't really look as crisp as people thought the 4K content was going to be.
Really?
So some of it looked good, but some of it, but as far as the takeaways from that I thought Xbox, Microsoft put on a pretty interesting thing, pretty interesting show. The Nintendo, supposedly from everybody's point of view, they say Nintendo really stole the show with this new Mario, but I think that was the only surprise.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't really a surprise. Everybody
really
thinks
surprised.
Right. Everybody was interested in this Mario game, but that's not. We haven't played Nintendo in a while, so that's not really for us. What games impressed you?
The Anthem game looks pretty sweet.
Anthem game did look really good.
It's like a sci-fi action Iron Man kind of thing.
Right. A game we'd been talking about prior to E3, Detroit Only Human, I think impressed, except it's now pushed back again, so it's now being released 2018. But
there's another, and this is a game that we're going to try to stream soon. The Evil Within. So The Evil was a horror genre game that came out a couple years ago, and I have it, and I never played it. I played it for like 2 minutes, and I was like,
Right.
whatever. But the second one is coming out, and that looks, but not like the whole time. I caught it right after it started, so I didn't see what it was like, what game it was. And the whole time I'm watching the clip, I'm like, oh my god, this game looks so good. What the hell is this? And then when it dropped, Evil Within 2, I was like, what? That don't look anything like the first one. So now I'm like, let me go back and play the first one, see if,
Now, just to refresh our audience and our fans' memory, Roger is a huge horror genre fan. I have never played a horror genre game. I don't like. I'm not a. I can watch a horror movie, but I'm not a big jump scare fan. Not a big, very scary game fan. So what? Actually, here's a little tease. Keep a listen to the end of the broadcast when we talk about some new stuff, and you might be pleasantly surprised at something we're thinking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, there were. I'll tell you what. If you're a horror game fan, E3 dropped a bunch of trailers for a bunch of new. Everybody's coming out with a new horror game, at least some type of zombie game. What's the other one where it's not really zombies, but like it's a like a biohazard type of game. You know what I mean? Like
Until Dawn, or no?
Until Dawn. Yeah, it was
Days Gone.
Days Gone. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that kind of came out there. Wolfenstein, I heard from many sources, was what a lot of the people who weren't so intrigued by Mario, they said was the game of the show. That was the preview of the show. That the game looked amazing, graphics were amazing, and the play, they said, was amazing. I heard there weren't a lot of playable demo stuff where you could do, or the ones that were there, the lines were ridiculous and you couldn't play. So
I really wish that either I lived there or it was here or near here, because that'd be so cool to go to one of those things.
Yeah, but from what I heard, since they've opened it back up to the public, it's crowds. It's just ridiculous crowds, and
yeah,
I want to say it's the last day of the show is when it's easier to get to play a lot of this stuff, because all the stuff happens like the first couple days of the show, and then usually the last day, I think the very last day is like the trade stuff and all that. But yeah, so some some interesting stuff coming out of there, some interesting games, and listen, we're gonna try to do we're gonna try to show you a lot of them in some of our streams that we'll be doing and stuff like that. So pay attention to the YouTube page. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead, look up Bing Bang Orangutan, and you should see our little logo, which is right next to Roger's name right there. That logo will tell you that you're on the right page. It's our little orangutan playing video games. So subscribe to us, and you'll be able to see us streaming some stuff. So should be good. Any other E3 notes, news, or anything that you want to talk about?
I can't really remember. I was trying to remember. I know we talked.
I know.
I made like this huge list of everything I wanted to talk about like a month ago, and then we just couldn't put the show together. And
right.
I can't remember any of it.
It was upsetting. Also, our biggest takeaway for you and I, at least, was the lack of information or lack of updates for Destiny. That was our big thing. But now
they basically showed the exact same thing that they showed at the DRE, which was the Destiny reveal event.
Right.
And it was like, all right, cool. Like what? I think at the DRE, I think they showed the Hunter, and then at E3 they showed the Sentinel Titan. So it was like, oh, cool. Like one. Like, who cares? Like,
Exactly. You know what? Let's since we're already talking about it, I'm flipping the script, my friend. We're gonna why don't we jump into that, and then we'll talk about some entertainment news, and then we'll get into some of the new content, maybe some the giveaway information. We so we're talking about Destiny 2 already. This week the beta dropped. Everybody was very excited. Roger and I were very excited. We actually had the opportunity to be on when it dropped, which is always kind of shitty for. It's always kind of shitty for us. I was just going to say that.
Wait 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's always kind of shitty for us on the East Coast because it's like in the middle of the day, so it's 10 a.m. Central, or I'm sorry, 10 a.m. Pacific time, which means 1 p.m. our time.
Right.
So it's shortly after lunch, and we were waiting a little bit. And Roger got in.
I only work till noon, and on Tuesdays, which is when that drops, I only work till 8 a.m. So I was good no matter what.
You were ready, and you got in right away. I however, did get the termite error code for a little while. Then I uninstalled and reinstalled the beta, which did take a half an hour. Once I did that, though, everything was fine. I did hear people complain a little bit about getting in, but for the most part, most people, it took a little bit to get in. But once they were, it wasn't as bad as Rise of Iron. When Rise of Iron dropped, the complaints were ridiculous. There are some error messages. There are some error messages in playing the game that some people got, but for the most part, everything seemed pretty good for us. Now, when you play the game, you jump right into the story mission, Homecoming. And right away, well, Roger, what was your takeaway from, let's start with the Homecoming mission. What was your takeaway from that? Well, you started, what character did you create first off?
My first, I stuck with my Titan. I went with the Titan, and I did the, obviously, Sentinel Titan. And
right.
the Captain America, if you will.
Yes,
however, I wasn't too, so the beginning video was all over the internet. It was all over E3, it was all over the DRE. So it wasn't anything. The only difference is they didn't show you in your ship with the character coming in.
Right.
Like that was like the first thing. And then everything else. Oh no, it was not the first thing. The first thing was Cade walking through the thing, and I was like, oh, okay, we've seen this already. But I still watched it. It was still awesome. It's a little different when it's on your computer versus on your TV screen.
Playing it, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right. I liked the mission a lot. It was long. Most of those story missions from Destiny 1 were probably, within 10, anywhere from like 5 minutes to, 20 minutes. So it was probably right around there, probably around 20 minutes it took to do this first story mission, maybe 15. But maybe it's because I was walking around the tower going, ooh, ooh.
That was a huge thing was, it takes place, this Homecoming mission takes place. Now, when you, we'll start from where you started. I picked a Warlock. That's my main character that I play now. I started Destiny. I'd started out as a hunter. So we'll get to that later, but the majority of my playtime on Destiny has been with the Warlock. So that's what I started with. The Warlock, like the Titan, has a new feature to it. The Titan has his shield feature, which is it's like a wall. It's basically a wall that you're able to put up at any point in time that you can throw it, apparently. You can throw it, or you can just put it up and hide behind it.
You're going to confuse people. Because there's two. I have two shields as a Titan. I have the shield, which is like the Captain America shield, but then I also have the actual, like the barrier shield.
A wall, like a wall shield, basically.
Like a wall, yeah. We'll call that the wall.
The wall, okay. I did hear that there were a couple. Yeah, I did hear that there were a couple complaints with the bubble. Right, because it was the.
I only used it one time.
Okay. It's a different button scheme now, right? Because of this new shield.
Well, the Sentinel super is just, the Sentinel shield is just double tap, like tap your super like normal.
You're normal, right?
But if you hold it in, you'll pop the bubble.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a little different for control wise. As the Warlock, I now have I can only equate it to, like, it's an aura. I'll call it. It's basically a circle you're putting on the ground. There's a name for it. I can't remember what it is.
Like a pool. It's not a pool, but
it equates to the same thing. It's basically a circle of light that you're standing in, and essentially, at least from my point of view, it looks like you're getting blessings or weapons from the Titan bubble. So essentially, I throw an aura down on the ground, and it'll either give you health or it'll give your weapons upgrade.
Think of it as the Titan bubble is an actual bubble, like blow bubbles, as an actual gigantic bubble. If you were to pop that bubble, all the liquid would fall down on the ground, and that's what you stand in.
You have a little pool, and that's
basically what it looks like.
Exactly. So I play
like lights that come up.
I am as a Warlock. One of your primary goals or functions, if you will, in Destiny 1 is to revive, especially during raids and things like that. You play as Solar, you get your revive, and you're good to go if you're dead. They took that away. So I
think it's funny that they took it away, which people didn't like. And I'm gonna guess that Warlock is probably the least popular of all the.
I disagree.
in one.
In one, correct. In
in
one,
one. And I
right.
think now, since they gave it the health and the region and the weapon stuff, I think it's going to be not the most popular, but it'll be. I think it'll be even now instead of
You do
Hunter Titans and then Warlock down here.
right. You do more for the party now. You can
Right,
help the party more than just being the guy who can die and then come back in
right.
case everybody else dies or who needs to revive, things like that. There's definitely more of a support role going on there as
Although,
well.
however, Dave, when you die often, like you do, you're not going to be able to give us your health. So
Yes. So
great,
you better revive me a lot because I die a lot,
great.
which you'll find out if you watch any of our streams. the
Go back and watch any of them.
Any of them, anyone that I'm playing in, I die a lot.
Instead
So
of Let's Play, I'm just going to rename the segment to Dave's Dead.
Dave dies. Dave.
Dave's
Oh
dead.
my god.
Prey. And you're
Oh
not
my
even
god.
playing Prey. Just,
They killed
oh my
Davey. You
God, you
bastards.
bastard.
So the what got us started on this, the homecoming mission. So I do play as a warlock. Oh, I'm sorry. So the revive is now replaced with a flaming sword. So you essentially you
Dawnblade.
hit your super, you get what is it? Dawnblade?
Dawnblade.
Dawnblade. Okay. You hit your super, you get a flaming sword that works similar to the solar sword. Actually, it's a mix of the solar sword and the arc sword, arc blade, where you're throwing. So one
Right.
button will throw, I guess, like fire, flame at an enemy. The other one will just do like your powerful hit, similar to like the hammer. The hammer in Rise of Iron that you would use because you can do like a smash almost with the blade. So that's the warlock side of things. But what got us into this was the homecoming mission and looking around because the biggest thing is the first mission, and I think this is a great mission for the beta because the first mission you're playing, you're in the tower again. You're basically learning that story of what happened to the tower, and you're in different parts of the tower that you've never seen to start out with. Then you get to parts of the tower that you have seen and it's destroyed. It's in ruins. But the graphics, I think, of this and just the scenery around it, things are on fire, things are falling. I thought right away, I was like, wow, this is so much
Well, the one
more
thing that got
graphically
me
intense.
the one thing that got me the most, well, two things got me. But the first thing that I came across was once you get towards the top of the tower where you're actually going to see
Mhm.
Zapala, you're walking down
Right.
that corridor with like all the humans that are just like
Yes.
messed up.
Scattered
And you're
everywhere.
walking through these like injured people that are limping around. You're just like, wow, that's something I've never seen in
Right.
like
Right.
it gives Destiny like heart, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Exactly.
the one thing after that, the thing that really got me, like going into the tower center was pretty cool as well. But as soon as you get in the ship and you get taken up to the Cabal ship and it's pouring rain,
Hmm.
like
And the water's just
I can only imagine in 4K or 60 frames per second on the computer, which I don't have a reference for that because I've never played this, so I don't know how good it looks. But I'm sure it's going to look wonderful. But
right.
like the drops on the screen, it looks so realistic. Like
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah. It's
yeah,
it's like draining off of the ship that you're walking on. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Like
just
you can
it's
barely
amazing.
even see. You can barely even see, like, because
Yeah,
it's so it feels like you're in a rainstorm. It's crazy.
right, right. Now you mentioned to me while you were playing because we were playing, we were partying, if you will, together. We were in the same
Party.
party while we were playing, and I noticed it right away as well. The the enemy that you're going up against are definitely a little harder. They're a little harder to kill. One
Yeah.
headshot doesn't do it anymore. You gotta, in a lot of cases, you have to do two
Oh,
shots.
a lot of
A
that
lot
showed
of
my
weapon and
variability.
your setup and things like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was definitely it was a good. I thought it was a good mission to start you out with.
Hmm.
It played the story. You got the story going enough to where you saw after the story. I'll tell you right now, after the story, we didn't before we even got into the strike, I was now interested even more and anticipating even more September when the actual game is released. I'm
Absolutely.
excited for it. So you do this homecoming mission and you do face I guess a couple different bosses. Not really bosses, but yeah, sort of bosses. They're yellows, they're harder yellows, that type of thing. And then you get into orbit and you have three options essentially. The only crappy thing, and a lot of people complained about, you can't play that mission again unless you create a new character.
Right.
So your three options now, once you're completed that story, are you can go and do a strike on the new planet of Nessus.
Which is
You
pretty
can,
nice.
which is well, we'll get into that. That's pretty good. And then you have two different options for Crucible. One of which is similar to we figured it out. It's the new game. We figured out that it's similar to Search and Destroy
from
if you've
Call of Duty.
played Call of Duty, exactly. Where people are setting bombs, you have to go unset the bombs. If somebody kills you, once you die in the game, you have so many revives, but if your whole team is dead, you lose. If they set off the bomb and you don't defend, you lose. Or if you're on the opposite side and you can't get the bomb set off, you lose. So there's that. And then the other one was Capture, a version of Capture of Crucible as well. So those are your three
Control.
options, really. I'm sorry, Control, not Capture.
So I will tell you, I did the whole thing with the Titan, and did a second. Did I do two with the Titan, or did I just do the one? I don't remember. I did everything. I did both gameplays with Crucible, and I played the Strike and the story mission with the Titan, and then I played again as the Hunter, and all I did was the story mission. I'm done. I'm good.
So I'm glad you brought that up. The biggest complaint that I'm hearing is you mentioned how
and you know what? And fuck everybody. Okay, it's too short.
Oh, no. I haven't even talked about. No, exactly. We'll get into that in a second. What I was going to say is I also played as the Hunter, and you made a comment about how on Destiny 1, Warlock is usually the least anticipated, least favorite.
I know where you're going, and I'll put it this way. So we talked about this, and I was between. Yep. I was either going to. So I was a day one Hunter, and then about a year ago, I changed to the Titan and loved the Titan. So I was like, oh my god, what do I want to do for Destiny 2? And I picked the Titan first and played with the Titan and loved them. And then picked the Hunter and did the story mission first with the Hunter, and I'm going to be a Titan.
Right. So the biggest complaint is you now have, I'll even call them like these special powers, not even superpowers, but special powers.
I mean, the Titan has the fucking wall, the giant wall that helps you. The Warlock has the Nova Bomb, right?
And what does the Hunter have?
The Hunter has dodge. You just dodge out of the way one time. So like with Night Step, in Destiny 1, you could do it 100 times if you want. Now you could do it, but one time. Shade step. Right? You can do it one time. Yep, but it reloads your weapons.
But it does reload your weapons. Yeah. So a lot of people are very unhappy with the Hunter right now because they
put it this way. Also, now if I were to go to Hunter, if Night Stalker came back, I would go with that. That's
right. But you tether. I mean,
the thing I don't like is now Blade Dancer. I hate it because I felt like it was like you had no control. It was just like you can go nuts straight. So, and they were explaining the new Arc Strider as just like that, but with way more control. So I was like, all right, sweet. So when I did it for the first time, it was like shing,
very slow.
Shing.
Yes,
it was very
a lot slower than the Blade Dancer.
I mean, now granted, I went up and swung at one Cabal group that came out of those like dropped whatever you want to call them, and I killed all four of them with one swing. So it's pretty badass, but like it's not what I was.
Oh yeah,
that's not what I want.
When I played the Hunter, I used Blade Dancer more so for Crucible. It was a better option for me for Crucible as my super than the Night Stalker and then the Golden Gun. Golden Gun was also pretty good, but the Blade Dancer for me, I felt like you could kill more guys with it. So, but yeah, so a lot of people were very upset with that. Hopefully, some tweaks or changes during the gameplay. And in the end, a Hunter it's still a good character. It's still a good character. I think they're trying to express the mobility of the Hunter is really what it comes down to. When you're playing as a Hunter, your agility's up there, and in this new one, the mobility changes, which are definitely interesting. That it's now your armor, your weapons, they manage. Actually, your armor manages your mobility, your resilience, which I guess is your recovery, and your.
Well, no, resilience is the amount of damage you can take, and then there's recovery.
Oh, and then recovery. Yeah, how fast you recover. So there's your three options, and each piece of armor that you're picking up is a little different. With weapons, the one thing that we noticed is it looks like that they were very happy with the exotic shaders that they were doing for, or the ornaments, if you will, for Destiny 1, where they've now turned it into shaders for guns in Destiny 2. So every gun or every weapon that you have will show a bunch of different shaders and options, things like that. Now, none of that was unlocked, which leads me back to one of the things that we were saying is a lot of people complained about the lack of content. You essentially had the story mission, you had you had a strike, which we'll get into that. I thought the strike was amazing, and then a couple Crucible matches.
Unless you play with Doe.
Unless you play with Doe. So, if you've watched any of our streams, Doe appears. He's a good guy. He's a Destiny lover, just like us. Doe's one of the guys who helps us out, and he's like in a lot of cases like a Destiny encyclopedia. Sometimes
he's our Destiny dad.
He's our Destiny dad, exactly. He definitely was not happy with the strike. He's a Titan, so it took him a little getting used to. As our Destiny dad, as dads usually are, he did not like the change. so we're getting him used to it, though. We're going to get him into Destiny 2. Either that or he'll be the only player still playing Destiny 1 when Destiny 2 comes out. You might see Doe on there playing. But yeah, the lack of content, I thought it was great, because you got to remember, beta is not going to show you everything. They want to see how their servers are working, how some of the content's playing, how players like some. They're giving you just enough to wet your, to get your what do they call it? Wet your whistle, to get you, it's like when you smell a steak. Wet your beak. You smell a steak and you're like, man, that smells great. You smell barbecue cooking. That's what they're doing. They're wafting that barbecue right at you, and you're like, I want more. And that's what they want to do, because they want to give you sorry, they want to give you a little preview to get you excited. Now I'd like to move into my favorite part of the beta, which is the strike. The strike for me, I thought was awesome. It was almost, for me at least, it was almost raid-like to an extent where it was raid-esque, yep, in the length of time that it takes.
And I even said that when we played. Well, I mean, the first time we played it, though, it only took us a half hour. It didn't feel like a half hour. It felt like
it took us half an hour.
2 hours.
The second, it definitely didn't the first time. The second time we played, even after exploring a little bit, but it still took us about an hour to complete it. The end boss is difficult. There's systems to it.
There's three tiers to it, which is unlike really any other boss we've had.
Exactly. And it's not even
except for Axis.
Yeah, I was going to say Axis, but even Axis moves to different sections, and that's when he's tiered differently. You know what I mean? So
true.
But I thought the strike was great. I thought Nessus was awesome. I thought it was such a big, expansive world that you can tell you're doing this on this new planet, but you're actually getting glimpses of other pieces of the planet. There's it's a drilling setup. There's the grinding wheels that are spinning around that kill Roger and Doe all the time.
And Dave, you died too. You thought you had to jump on it the first time, asshole.
Yeah, I did think I could jump on it. I was like, I could jump. Oh, no, you can't. But it was very, very good. And I think of all of the stuff in the beta, I think that was hands down a great example of what the game's going to be, other than maybe the first story mission, which I thought was just a great story to do. So I'll be honest with you. All in all, I'm happy with the Destiny 2 beta. I'm excited. I'm excited for September. I'm ready to play the new character. I'll be honest with you too. I'm ready to build up my new character. I understand why some people are very upset that the game, some of the stuff isn't coming into Destiny 2, but I don't care. I'm ready to start from scratch, build my character up, check out this new, because a lot of playing a game from scratch and building your character up is also learning your character. You know what I mean? Some of the guys who come in and they
build a relationship.
Well, not only that, but when you use the what's it called, where you level to 40,
the spark.
Sometimes the problem with the spark is, while it's great if you've already leveled a guy up, I always think you should level a guy up first, because the spark will get you to level 40 where you need to be, but you kind of miss out on learning how to use your player, learning how to upgrade your player, learning all that. Now you're trying to learn it on the fly at level 40, and it's a little different. So but no, I was very happy with it, and I'm excited, man. I'm ready for more content.
Definitely.
Yep. So I felt like I talked a whole lot there. So is there anything I missed?
You were super excited about Destiny.
I am.
No. I mean, we covered most of it. We covered everything. The Crucible, we're not really going to talk about Crucible. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but we're not really big Crucible fans in general. I like Iron Banner, but that's pretty much it.
And one of the
Um,
things that was I noticed was, sorry to interrupt you one more time. One of the
mhm.
things with the Crucible that if you didn't play if you're listening to this and you didn't play the Destiny 2 beta, is you had three options of characters, but they came out with essentially all of the same stuff right away. So if you were
Yeah.
playing day one Crucible, you were playing against all of the same weapons, all the same armor that everybody else
Well, what
is.
happened was, so apparently the Titan got the assault rifle, the auto rifle, sweet
Right.
business. The Hunter got the Sunshot hand cannon, and then the Warlock got whatever you got. I didn't play it. It was a pulse rifle, maybe a
It
fusion
was
rifle.
no, it was a machine gun, a minigun. No, yeah, I guess mini. What do they call it? Submachine gun. Sorry, the
Submachine gun. Yeah.
right. So they have, which some of the weapons are different, obviously, but yeah, they did.
So everybody has the same. You know what I mean? So you don't have an advantage over anybody.
Right. And even when you played the strike a couple times or stuff, you would get different armor that you could set up a little differently. But weapons wise, you really only, they might have opened up one or two to you, but it was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a good time.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I'm excited, man. I'm ready for it.
Yep. Definitely.
So that's our Destiny 2 beta.
Beta,
News and
beta.
info. Yeah. And listen, we were complaining after E3 the lack of information, and I think this gave us a lot of information. I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think this was enough to make that barbecue ready for me to eat. I'm excited. So you like how I tied that into my barbecue?
Dude,
Again?
you're so good at
Now
that.
I'm hungry too.
You're so good
Now
at
I'm
that.
hungry too. That's because I'm fat. As a fat guy, you're always hungry. You can always relate anything to food.
Fair. Yes.
Yeah.
I am.
All right. So I have to tell you about entertainment news. Let's bring up some entertainment news. Now, Roger is not
I'm
caught up.
gonna go to the bathroom for this.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I've already decided I'm not going to spoil anything. Roger's
Right.
not really caught up, but Game of Thrones season 7 dropped last weekend, and we are big Game of Thrones fans here. I thought as an opening episode to I'll call it unknown. This is unknown quantity at this point because we have no idea what's happening here because none of the books have gotten this far. And last season they played off of some of the books, but some of the stuff was very new. So we're in parts unknown right now. And I thought as an opening episode, things are going well. Things are going well. Here's my little recap without spoiling anything. Nope, you're good, Raj. I'm a little nervous, and I'm a little nervous
because Ed Sheeran's in it.
I actually thought he was fine. He was fine. Yeah, he was fine in there. I said to my wife, I'm like, I think that's that Ed Sheeran guy. And it was, but you know what? It's okay. I thought he played a good.
I think it's that Ed Sheeran guy, aka oh my god, babe, it's my favorite singer of all time, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm singing. I was just about to say. I don't know any. What songs does he sing?
Baby got back. Baby got back.
Baby got back. Wait, that wasn't him, was it? But anyway, so what I can tell you is I'm a little nervous because season 6, I felt, and I think a lot of fans felt that it was very fan friendly. There was a lot of stories that were going on that you were like, by the end, you were like, yes, I was hoping that was going to happen. And I'm a little afraid of season 7 that they're going to head in a direction that, it's just like any storyline where you're like, yeah. And then they slap you in the face. It's been this show is known to slap you in the face. They kill everybody. But so it was a very
Speaking
good
of killing everybody. I saw a funny picture of the director or the writer, whoever wrote the books.
Okay. Oh, the big heavy set guy.
Yeah. And it was a picture of him in it. George Martin. I was going to say George R.R. Romero, but that guy's dead.
Yeah, that's close.
But it was like, what would be the most disappointing character death in Game of Thrones? Question mark. And then it just said, and it said a picture of him, and it said me.
Yeah, and it's true. And the reason is because he's not finished with the story. Good news is he did supposedly he told the directors the end of the story, and they're going their own way with it. So that apparently when the books do come out, they're going to be okay with, they're going to be a little different storylines and things like that. But I'll tell you what,
But as
honestly,
long
I
as
thought it
the
was
end game.
exactly, as long as the end game is close to the same or very similar. There's a lot of characters who aren't on the TV that you want to find out about, but it's it was very good. It was a good episode, I thought, and we'll see what happens. And same thing, you're kind of anticipating what's going to happen next week. So, and I'm in every week.
All right.
um I just learned some news that kind of relates to entertainment news that I want to get your opinion on. Apparently, OJ
Oh, I
Simpson
thought
has
you were
been
gonna.
released.
I thought you were gonna go to the other piece of news that I told you earlier.
No, no, no. I wasn't gonna go there. You could bring it up if you want, but I won't.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, apparently OJ Simpson was released on
He's
parole.
out. The
Yes,
juice.
the juice is loose.
I just saw a post saying the Cleveland Browns signed running back. Pick him up in your fantasy leagues, everyone. Pick him up in your fantasy leagues.
OJ Simpson. Here's what I found interesting. So, of course, all that stuff.
Oh, you know what? I've heard something. Sorry, something interesting about OJ Simpson. Not a Jew.
Not a Jew. Nice Adam Sandler reference there.
He told me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So here's what I
you were
found
like OJ Simpson, and I was like, no, say it.
Not a Jew. Yeah.
I said anyway.
So of course, everything that happened with him and his wife happened years and years ago, and they keep bringing stuff up on television and stuff like that. But what he got put away for was actually something completely ridiculous that he should have gone to jail for. But I think they threw the book at him, and I really don't care about him at all. Here's what I found ridiculous. So years ago, he gets acquitted for murder and goes in and has a civil suit where they find him guilty. So they basically award Ron Goldman's family $33 million, and probably Simpson's family, I don't know, the $33 million. Now the guy's loaded. He's got it, right? Apparently, sorry, I dropped something. Apparently, what I found out was that he gets an NFL pension of something along the lines of like $27,000 a month. Something like that, right? From the NFL. I think it was something along those lines, that they can't touch at all because it's part of the pension contract. That stuff like lawsuits and things like that. So he just collects on that money, and he's never, he's paid him some, but nothing near $33 million. So he just lives off his NFL pension. So he'll never get another job or TV or anything like that, because if he does, all that money's going to go right to.
I think this is all a political scam.
Yeah.
Because, and here's his job. It's all political, stunt.
Mm-hmm.
I heard in the news that Caitlyn Jenner was thinking about running for office.
Oh, could you imagine that? With her vice president, OJ Simpson.
Dude, after Trump, anything can fucking happen. Who knows?
That would be amazing. You know why that would be amazing? Because idiots would vote for them. They would be like,
yeah,
I'm gonna pull that one. You know what I mean? And they're like, because and then Eddie Murphy used to do a skit years ago. It was something, I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, and he said he was joking around, and he says there's going to eventually be a black guy president, because he said white people will go in there and go like, oh, I just voted for the black guy, and push the button, and then the next morning they go, holy shit, he won. Like, you know what I mean? Like that'll be the Caitlyn Jenner thing with with OJ as the vice president. But anyway, I want to get your take on that. That is also in some, I call it entertaining or entertainment news. I like to bring up some of that stuff. So I think at this point, we are now going to talk about some of the new stuff that we've got coming up on the channel. So go onto YouTube, subscribe to Bing Bang Orangutan, look us up. You'll see the icon that you'll see on Rogers. It's the orangutan playing he's got a controller in his hand. That is us. If you subscribe to that and you follow us on Facebook,
and make sure you hit that little bell. The bell, when you hit that, it'll let you know the second we're putting anything up, so you don't want to miss anything.
Yes, you'll see us stream live.
I'm actually subscribed. I'm actually subscribed to it with the bell, but I'm the one putting the shit up, so I even know when it's coming, and I still get
Yeah,
that bing.
you
And like,
know,
yeah,
you
we're
know,
live.
you know, and you know.
Yeah, and now if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. So anyway, so go to the YouTube page and subscribe. Go to Facebook, Bing Bang Show. Go to Twitter, Bing Bang Show. Just look us up anywhere, Bing Bang Show. You'll find us. BingBangShow.com. Go ahead and subscribe to us, because what we're going to do is we're
Well, you might
definitely
not want to do it now. You might want to wait.
okay.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why
Because
would
if
you
they
want to wait?
wait to subscribe until we put up,
Yes. If you want to wait,
so
you might
so
want to wait a
basically
little bit.
what we're doing is we're trying to figure out a way to up our viewership and up our subscribers. When you know, I didn't think that we needed more than our good looks and our charm, but apparently you do. So we are going to be doing a giveaway. It's going to be coming within, I'm assuming, the next couple of days. Dave,
Probably,
we'll probably
I would assume.
get it rolling. We're not exactly sure,
Right.
or did we decide? Did we want to do?
Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do.
We're not
There
sure.
might be some multiple giveaway stuff happening too. So
Okay.
don't be upset if you're, you can feel free to go to subscribe, because here's what's going to happen is we're going to put up a giveaway. It's probably going to be something that you'll be interested in. How's that? Could be a gift card. Could be something you want. Could be a gift card for some place you want. Who knows?
Could be a date with Dave. Who knows?
Could be a date. What?
Yep.
So
Just go with it.
date with Dave. Yes.
Trying to give the people what they want.
Everybody just closed down the stream. Thanks, Roger. So so could be something that you want. It's going to be a giveaway. You'll see it up in the next couple of days. And what you're going to be able to do here is you're going to be able to have entries. So you'll get one entry just for entering the contest. And then there's going to be other ways to get entries. If you've ever done a sweepstakes before, it's kind of like that, or a giveaway before, it's kind of like that, where you have multiple ways to get entries. Subscriptions will give you entries. Following and liking certain things will give you entries, things like that. You're going to see it on the page. So we'll put it out there. And if you even if you subscribe today, there's going to be other ways for you to get plenty of likes, or plenty of entries. I'm sorry. And there's going to be plenty of ways you can win the award. Plus, once you get subscribe to us, you're going to see all of this great content that we're putting out.
Right.
And some of that is including, we're going to be doing, we're thinking about doing some game reviews, some of the newer games. Roger's been playing some Prey recent, like just today.
Just started it today.
Just started it today,
Yep.
which he says is one of the scariest games he's played. So you can watch him play, you can listen to him review the game. We're going to do some of we call it Kodo, basically Clash of the Orangutans. We're bringing that back. Clash of the Orangutans is guys that, me and Roger, maybe Nick will be involved.
Basically, what the best way to put it is couch co-op. You remember when you guys were younger and you used to go over your buddy's house and play video games with them and sit there and punch them in the arm when they try to cheat, or unplug their remote, their controller when you're playing, right, or talking shit. That's exactly what Clash of the Orangutans is going to be. Yes. We're going to play all old school games, sitting next to each other for the most part.
Yeah, playing video games nowadays is great online, but you do kind of miss that. You miss that shit talking, except that especially when you're playing with random people and everything like that. You're going to get a lot of that. We're going to play some old games. For those of you old heads like myself, I love the old games. We're going to play some of that. Roger literally has every system you can think of, and a bunch of old games. So we're going to be bringing that back. And something we've been thinking about a little bit. We mentioned earlier that Roger is
happening.
It's happening. Roger is a horror game fan.
Yep.
And I have never played a horror game. I'm a scaredy cat. And what we're thinking we're going to do is we're going to put in some horror games. I'm going to stream them live. You're going to get to see me play a horror game. You're going to get to see how much of a pussy I am. You're going to get to see how much of a scaredy cat I am.
I think what I want to do is I want to put out a poll to see what people want us to call this segment. I have a couple good ideas, like Dave.
This is great.
Dave poops his pants.
Which may actually, we may even have a poop meter.
A poop cam.
Poop cam.
Right on your ass.
Because I may piss my pants. We might have a piss cam too.
Dave scared stupid. Dave.
Yeah.
we'll
I think Nick said Dave scared shitless or something along those
no,
lines.
no, no. Dave's a bitch.
Dave's a bitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's
that's what he
plenty of
called
them.
it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of them that we have. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll put a little poll out there for what we should call the new segment. But
Yeah.
yes, it is. Roger says it's definitely happening. So guess what? It's going to happen. So you're going to get to see my reaction while I play these games while I'm scared shitless. So
Yeah.
thanks, Roger. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And plenty more. There's going to be plenty more. So I can't say it enough. Be sure to check out all of our social media. Be sure to subscribe to things. Be sure to listen if the podcast comes out, and we're gonna have lots of ways for you guys to have a good time and to hang out with us, basically. So
Absolutely. Yep.
we always listen to comments. We always listen. We love it when you guys tell us how you're liking stuff. If you're not liking stuff, if you think of a good idea that you'd like to see how shitty Dave plays this game or that
Yeah.
game.
If you want us to play a specific game, we're always down for trying new things. So
Exactly. So definitely let us know. But I believe, my friend, that is our
that is
show
it.
for the day. That is it.
Woo-hoo.
So we really appreciate you listening in. Like I said, Bing Bang Show on any of the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know if we've done Instagram recently, but we can do Instagram.
I redid an
Um,
Instagram. It's just Bing underscore bang underscore orangutan.
there you go.
I
So
started the post now. So
yeah, and then YouTube is our biggest place. Bing Bang Orangutan. Look it up. You're going to see our picture of our orangutan playing on his
our
controller.
monkey playing a video game.
Go ahead and subscribe and pay attention, because we're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to do new content, all sorts of shit that you guys are going to love. So we appreciate you listening. I am Dave, aka Fatty B.
And I am Roger, the beard.
Thank you guys and have a wonderful day. Cockpit.
Cockpit. Oh, nice. Well, see you later.